Unfiltered Path Podcast, where we explore life's journey without the constraints of filters. In a world saturated with highlight reels, we dive deep into the true essence of individual experiences, offering listeners an uncensored glimpse into the triumphs, struggles, and transformative moments that define us. Our mission is to provide hope, inspire resilience, and remind you that every path, no matter how windy or rocky, can lead to growth and enlightenment. Join us as we navigate the uncharted territories of truth and to be moved, be inspired, and discover that you're not alone on this unfiltered journey of life. What is up, everybody? My name is Graham Duval. I'm the owner of Valued Productions. My company provides video marketing strategies to businesses to help them turn strangers into clients using social media and video content. I am a co-host here on the Unfiltered Path Podcast. Super excited for today's episode. We'll get into that in a minute, but I'm joined with my co-host today.
Hey everyone, Trinity Baker, mindset coach and motivational speaker. I work with individuals helping them love the life that they live, step into their truest and best selves, and live nothing less than what they know they deserve and desire. And I'm joined here. I'm one of your co-hosts. I'm joined here with my amazing co-host.
Hi everyone, my name is Danielle. I'm the owner of Aerial Jade. I'm an aerialist. That's a fancy term for performing suspended in the air. I'm also an educator, so I teach other people to do it too. So I'm the bird of the circus, darlings. And welcome. So today we are celebrating the end of our season 3. We're kind of recapping where we're at, diving a little deep for our listeners into our individual lives and personalities, because normally we love celebrating our guests. So I'm excited for this morning. We've already been chatting quite a bit, so bear with us. I think I was mid-giggle when Graham started reading.
Yeah.
Vibe that we need and we know our listeners need is the vibe of high energy, real truth, unfiltered, raw conversation from the lives of every single one of us here, and every single one of our guests lives such different lives. And so I think that that's really what gives Unfiltered Path podcast listeners value from us, is that we're willing to be raw and vulnerable and also give you inspiration and hope that you're on the right path, my friend.
Most definitely. Everything happens the way it's supposed to, and so that is just a testament to that everybody lives different lives, and whether it's, like it said, unwindy or rocky or good or bad, it all happens the way it's supposed to, and it leads us where we're supposed to. And hopefully our listeners can take some comfort in that and get some inspiration from this podcast. It's super exciting. It's been 45 episodes. We've done 45 episodes. That's wild.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
When we created this podcast, it was just because Graham and Danielle and I were sitting here talking all of the time on Zoom, and we were like, we have such great conversations that are so impactful. Why don't we share them? And so
we have so many cool friends that have things to say. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but we just wanted to dive deeper into our friends, in the business world, outside of the business world, because that's where we all interact. And I'm I just want to know them like we know each other, and we've really got the opportunity to do that. It's been exciting. I love it. It's one of my favorite things I do all week.
It's been so exciting. I do think that one thing that we've missed the opportunity for over these episodes is because we love our guests. Our guests, they make my heart happy. I love hearing about them. I love hearing their stories and how impactful they are. But
very educational too.
Yes.
For real. Very enlightening.
On that topic, I think that we should take just a few minutes to reintroduce ourselves as the Unfiltered Path podcast hosts, what we do, what our businesses really do, what we do as entrepreneurs, why we do it, where we came from, and just so our listeners who might not have been listening at the beginning, which was a year ago plus,
Mhm.
to know us. Who we like, why? Who are we? What do we do? Why are we so freaking passionate about this thing called the Unfiltered Path Podcast? Right?
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
someone go.
Danielle, kick us
Hey,
off.
kick us off. Okay. I just love the name of our Unfiltered Path podcast. Is just what makes me so excited about our podcast is because being a mom and being in the business world, started to feel filtered. My experience was being filtered, and there's so much wisdom in us that doesn't get shared because we're in this filtering process of what's acceptable and polite, and we want to be all those things, right? And so I just get excited because my life has been a little unorthodox, and this is finally a platform where I can feel like I can be myself, which is really important. So I hope our guests feel that way too, and that you guys constantly feel comfortable to be yourselves, especially around me. Um, yeah, so I am a 39-year-old aerialist living in Maine. I was an aerialist prior to, but I also have been to business school and a bit of a corporate ninja, especially when I seek stability. But normally art really shakes things up. I can only get like a year and a half, 2 years of stability before I feel like chaos. Something happens to put me in alignment with art and expression. And so I've kind of surrendered to that now. But being a business owner really fulfills me into kind of living out all of these sides of myself, and not always my favorite. So I joined a business group. So, bookkeeping and marketing and, maintaining and finding customers is a lot of work. And quality referrals and things. And through that experience, I became a leader. I painted for like high-end people. I've performed in the most lavish locations. I've really created this beautiful career in Maine, where I had prior done in Florida, where the environments were just readily available. And so it's just kind of like there. So to be at the bottom level of creating those experiences in Maine and being the entertainment and the educator and the business owner, has been really cool. It's nice because now I can kind of fall back and let go a little bit. I'm hoping next year I'll just be an aerialist of Aerial Jade. I'm excited for that opportunity. Uh, yeah, so that's where I'm at, guys. Oh, and I have kids.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I
Love it.
All right, Grant, why don't you jump in?
Yeah, happy to. Yeah, it's cool. I hope our listeners we cover all ends of the spectrum from personalities to different business spectrums. And so what I do is my business is Valued Productions, and we work with video to help businesses achieve goals. And it can look different from whether they're looking to increase sales or save time. It's just using the medium of video to create goals. And it's kind of what sets me apart from other video professionals is that um, unlike just a videographer who will come in and create a nice video for you, we actually go deep into what are the strategies that are actually going to allow this medium to achieve some sort of result. And that can look like anything from done for you services to teaching teams how to do this stuff for their own internal stuff. And yeah, working at growing a community myself. And I'm super excited for the podcast because it's just coming from where I've come from. Like, I've never thought that I was even able to like have a life like this, being a sober entrepreneur and like working through that whole thing, like being a statistic, because right now the number one cause of death for people in my age bracket is overdose. You know what I mean? And like it's just crazy to think about. And so like to shine that light of inspiration and show that like, hey, with the right people surrounding you, and to put in your mind to things like, yeah, I'm still working on stuff personally as far as like my connection with stuff, but like I surround myself with people, our listeners here, the co-hosts here, and like it allows me to continue to grow. And like I have crazy big aspirations with this thing, and that's what I enjoy about the podcast, is like seeing all these different business connections, and like what we get to learn here, and realize that like, yeah, I do business, and yeah, I do marketing and try to make a lot of money and all this stuff, but like really it that's not the main thing. It's how we act, like personally and like energetically, and like the vibes that we put out into the world, and that's where everything flows, and so yeah, it's crazy to think that we've been doing 45 episodes. It's pretty exciting.
Insane. It's insane. Amazing. Graham, you are such an inspiration. You just said something that I have to comment on before I start talking, though. I have crazy big aspirations for this thing. They're not aspirations. That's literally your journey. You can see where you are going. And that's exactly what I do, is teach people that the things that we think, Danielle, you see yourself on stage, you see yourself traveling the world. Like, that is not an aspiration. It's not a dream. It's our reality that we're creating.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I do as a mindset coach, is teach people like that is the truth. How are you going to get to that point if you don't believe that that is the truth of where you're going? And then do the personal development. We make the connections. We, take the elephant, bite it, break it down into bite-sized pieces, and you get the support and accountability to level up yourself as you are leveling up your career, as you are leveling up every area of your life. And so that's what I do as a mindset coach. But that's literally exactly what I do. What I just heard you say, I have all these aspirations, and I'm like, no, Graham, they're not aspirations. It is literally where you are going.
Yeah, definitely.
And believe in it. And I hope that's like one of my number one hopes for the Unfiltered Path podcast, is that whether you are listening as a business owner, whether you are listening as a person who just has a dream, who just has something in you that says, I think I could do something with this hobby of mine, or I think I could do something with this passion of mine. I hope every single one of you listening gets the inspiration and motivation and resources and connections that you need to make that shit happen. That's what I want the Unfiltered Path podcast to give you, because we all have so much greatness in us and within us, and unlimited potential. And this is why I'm a mindset coach, motivational speaker, because it is so freaking sad to see people who have so much potential never step into it. It breaks my heart. And so that is why I do what I do, because every single client that I work with, every person I come in contact with, I just want to spread inspiration and love to you, to know that you are enough. You are more than enough. You can become your best self, even more than what you even think is possible for you. And that's what I make happen within the work that I do. So I'm a former psychiatric nurse, and I did nursing for a long time. I wanted to help people. And what I realized is that I wasn't helping them at the level that I wanted to help them at. And so I took all my expertise as a psychiatric nurse, and I learned about mindset, and I learned about what we could do without medications, without therapy, or after therapy, after counseling, or between, right? All those modalities are so important. But what I do is really teach people to harness what they all have. Every single one of us has it. It's nothing that you have to buy. It's all within you. Our mindset is a tool that we are born with. And I would love to have this statistic for you someday, but I think it's a huge number of people who don't tap into that.
Oh, for sure.
Like
Yeah, a lot of
For
people call it
sure.
regret.
right? So I would love
Maybe that's what
to,
it's called.
if I had like one goal at the end of my journey here on earth in this being that I'm in, is that I would love to have that statistic to be, so it can be, because I see it and that's what drives me to do the work that I do. When someone says they're ready, that's what makes me like jump for freaking joy when they sign up for coaching, because I know that 4 or 5 years ago, when I hired my first coach for an astronomical price, I maxed out 4 credit cards to do it. And I was in so much debt, but I knew that that's what I needed to do to get to my level that I knew was within me, right? I had like this burning, these desires, and I didn't know how to achieve them. I didn't even know what to do. And so when someone signs up for coaching, like it makes me so happy because I literally see them opening the door to their potential. It's literally like you're opening the door to your potential. And so to see someone invest time-wise, financially, all of the investments it takes to really start focusing on you, it's beautiful because they thrive. And that's why I love the word thrive and thrival, is because we all deserve to be there. And I think that we're all doing that here on the Unfiltered Path podcast. We're all thriving in our own levels. But I love watching you guys thrive at different levels. Every single week we come on here, and it's so cool to see you guys like next level your life and your business and your relationships and your health. And it's just so cool. Like Danielle, I remember when I first met you, you were looking for opportunities in the community, and now you are booked into 2025.
I know.
I remember the first time you looked at me and said, I want to teach and make aerialists in this community. And now that's what you're doing. And Graham, when I first met you, Value Productions was a baby. It was a baby.
Yeah.
Now you are like, you are a pro, my man. Like you are so, and so every time I scroll social media and I see like your post about like all of the amazing content that you give business owners for free, and then what you do for them and how they level up when they hire Value Productions, like I love seeing that. And I hope that gives, I hope the Unfiltered Path podcast gives our listeners the avenue to see that.
I agree. It's so cool. So cool. I hope as a listener of the Unfiltered Path podcast, like all these different avenues of like where we come from and how our businesses are, we still have that like intertwined thing of like coaching people, helping people, wanting to see the world grow, you know what I mean? And I think that's a really powerful thing as far as like even what we each do in our own individual professions and how that ties into, you know, what we do here.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we're in a really strong position to help lead people, especially as a collective. So for a business owner, you have to be a healthy person. You need energy that you at random moments in a way that needs is conscious. People always end up having to consciously look at health as they grow their business, in my opinion.
For sure.
And not to even limit myself to be just like an exercise health person. I'm also a healer. So while Trinity might target like your brain patterns and how you're objectively viewing things throughout the day, I'm here to actually chemically shift you. I create like exercise creates a chemical release. So does overcoming fear. It literally channels parts of the brains that otherwise wouldn't. I do a lot of my work is with the nervous system and the actual like personality of the person. And you know, even the directions people spin can say a lot about people, and their tolerance to certain pain.
Yeah.
Their ability to fail and keep showing up, because essentially it takes even myself to learn a new move takes multiple times. So it's like physical pain, mental pain, confidence. I really target all of it. So I would never want to limit myself to be the person that gets you back to health in like a magazine forum. It's really on like such a spiritual level.
Yeah,
So,
most definitely.
yeah. And so, you know, when someone joins a podcast, they get that in-depth wisdom. And, Trinity for me is like, I literally have a therapist that's a friend, and from such an enlightened place, because it is brain patterns. And when she speaks, she's intentional and she knows what's going to help shift the brain. And the personality. And so it's just really helpful having access to you, like to manage my life. Like it's really useful. And then Graham video, like my life is video. So most of my I have a lot of screenshots just from some of your clips from your page. Like just recently, it was like, you need 6 emotional or to 1 marketing to, I can't remember exactly. I know, I screenshot it. Yep. So it's like, I know I have access to this information that people pay lots of money to have. And I'm like, so grateful. The podcast gives me access to all of that.
Yeah. And hopefully our listeners can see that, like Trinity and Danielle were saying, like we started this thing because we were literally getting together and just sharing information with each other as far as like, how are we all leveling up together? And so we're like, okay, well, how can we bring more people into this like circle of how we're all helping each other level up, and realizing that leveling up, it looks different all the way around. And one of the things that just visually always kind of sticks in my mind is like, if you look at the like big wide version of like the stock market from like the past 100 years or whatever, it has like all these ups and downs and everything like that, but the trajectory is still always going up. It is literally always going up, but there's like dips and ups and downs, but it's just like on an upward.
Right,
and so I think that just to me really speaks to like what we're trying to do here and what we are doing here. And so yeah, here's to a good season 3. We've got another season coming out, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for more episodes. And so, is there anything else that Trinity or whatever that Danielle, that you want to cap off before we sign off today?
Say one more thing is like, I'm here for the impact, right? If we talk about what Graham just talked about, right? We were having a conversation where we saw so much impact within each other. And we thought to ourselves, like, why not share this with the other people who need to know this? There's a lot of people who don't have the influence or impact around them like we do. We are so blessed by that. And so why not create a platform that can get poured into people really easily? It's a podcast button. They click it, they listen, and then they get poured into. And so what I would say to our listeners is, who else in your life needs to be impacted? Who else in your life needs hope and inspiration? Who else in your life needs to hear what we talk about here? The education, to hear that we are all real people building businesses and making an impact, and that it is not a straight level up. We have so many downs. It's unreal. But we talk about how it is that we bounce back from those downs, how we level up from those downs. And so my ask to our listeners is that you invite people, you share it with people, show them the podcast, tell them what you've gotten from it, tell them that they should be listening, because we talk a lot about like the 5 people that we're around is our influence. Well, this podcast can be one of those people for you. Who needs that in their lives? Make that ripple with them, please. Make an impact, share it with them, invite them.
Yeah, what she said.
Most definitely. So that is just share it. Go follow all the places, invite more people. That's a recap to season 3, and here's to future more seasons. Again, my name is Graham, owner of Valued Productions. You can find me online, VALUD productions.com. Same thing with social media at Valued Productions. Joined with my awesome co-host today.
Hello, Trinity Baker, mindset coach and motivational speaker. You can find everything about me on my website, thetrinitybaker.com. Free resources, courses, coaching, all of the goods. But follow me on social media, the Trinity Baker, on all your favorite social media platforms. Get inspired, get in front of the people you want to listen to and be inspired by. Joined here with my co-host.
Hi everyone, I'm Danielle, the aerialist, comedian, wannabe soon, still trying. You can find me online. I am just delightful. I share my students, my children, me, the journey of aerialism, comedianism. That's not a word. Anyways, I'm an overall artist and general public figure as I am well in the community. So my media reflects that approach. So please follow me. And I hope everyone is having a fall.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And definitely go follow the Unfiltered Path podcast on all of the places where you get podcasts, YouTube. Go hit subscribe. Make sure you click the little bell button so that you get notified every time a new episode comes out. Same thing with on the podcast. You can add it to your thing so that it gets notified when a new one comes out, so you can hop right on there. And we will see you all next week on the Unfiltered Path podcast.